This is Getting Past It, where real life meets real growth. I'm JR, and in 10 minutes or less, we're tackling thoughts, habits, and truths that hold us back. Let's get past it together.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Getting Past It, the podcast. I'm your host, JR. This is episode 12. It's Fueled Up Friday, and today's topic is protect your peace. Everything doesn't deserve a reaction. Peace isn't just about calm surroundings and serenity and all of those things. It's about being intentional in setting boundaries, having emotional control, and mental clarity. Have you ever been around somebody who's going through a chaotic situation? They're in the middle of a storm and you see it just raining all around them, but that person just looks peaceful as they go through that storm? They're focused, they're resolute, they're determined, and they're just moving with this sense of peace about themselves, even though things look chaotic. And you wonder, like, how is this person not going crazy or pulling their hair out? They're just maneuvering through this difficult time, and it almost looks effortless. Or even when you do see them taking the hits, they just have something about themselves that is like, man, that person is just calm as they go through this, right? Some people choose peace over having to prove a point, because a lot of times that's where we go. Instead of looking for resolution, we go to, I need to prove my point. We're not trying to get understanding. I'm trying to win. And that's not the best place to be. You find yourselves in a lot of unnecessary battles that way. And that's also not a good way to protect your peace. Feeling like you need to win is going to have you won't have a lot of peace, because you'll consistently be in that space of trying to prove your point. So you don't always have to win. You don't always have to respond. Then you also have to understand and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Or is this just draining it? Is this situation I'm engaging in worth it? Is the juice worth the squeeze? What am I going to get out of this? What is this person going to get out of this? Or are we just going through this dance to see who's going to win? Right? Is this depleting my motivation, my energy, impacting my peace? Sometimes your silence in those situations is so powerful. It's more powerful than the words you can say, because your silence can speak volumes. Sometimes the best thing to do is just be quiet and let it be. Protecting your peace, limiting your exposure to negativity, recognizing energy drainers versus energy refillers, and taking control of your environment. Understanding who you're around, what you're letting in your space. Quick story. I had a friend of mine, every time I spoke to this person, it was always negative. Not a negative interaction with me, but this person just it was always about the negative aspects of their life and the things they were going through. And what I started to realize was that subconsciously I started to begin trying to avoid this person because I didn't want that drain on my energy. I think I told y'all a few episodes ago, I'm a big believer in transference of energy. And so allowing that person to consistently unload all of those things on me was negatively impacting me. And I had to have a real heart to heart with this person because I loved the individual. And it was one of those situations where it was like every time we talk, it can't be this. But I was honest and truthful about that, about controlling my environment and what I allowed to invade that space. And sometimes people don't know that they're doing it, right? They start talking and they treat you like a proxy for the person that they're talking about. And that's disrupting your peace because now they're yelling, they're super animated, and you're like, hey, time out. I'm not them. So why are you talking to me this way? And so sometimes you got to have those conversations. The other thing is you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Just because somebody invites you to an argument, to discourse, to have a spirited debate, does not mean you always have to engage. You can walk away. You can allow them to feel how they feel. You can agree to disagree. But you get to choose your battles. And every fight doesn't need to be fought. So again, just because somebody invites you to an argument, it does not mean you need to go. You get to make a conscious choice on whether or not you engage in that. And that can also go back to the silence because they may just kick in the door with the argument and now it's on. But your silence can change that because now they're arguing with themselves. Right? And sometimes that drives them more crazy than you arguing with them. Protect your peace. You play a role in that. I'm a big believer that we teach people how to treat us by what you allow, what you react to, what you respond to. Being open and honest as you're developing relationships about the things that may or may not push your buttons. Coming to that place of understanding. So think about those things. Listen, it's Fueled Up Friday. Your call to action today. I want you to make protecting your peace a priority for you. And that may mean setting some boundaries with people, being intentional about how you engage, identifying the energy drainers versus those that fill your cup. And before I let you go, there was a verse that spoke to me that I just want to read you before we get out of here. This is coming from Proverbs 17, verse 27 and 28. A man of knowledge uses words with restraint, and a man of understanding is even-tempered. Even a fool is thought wise if he keeps silent, and discerning if he holds his tongue. Think about that. This is another episode of Getting Past It, the podcast. Protect your peace. I'm your host, JR. I hope y'all have a great day.